If you were to tell me before the season started that Sam Darnold would be playing in Super Bowl 60, I'd say you probably need to go get checked out. And if you placed a wager for the Seattle Seahawks to get to the Super Bowl in the preseason, and then if you placed the wager for them to win it and they pull it off in Super Bowl 60, woo, are you winning? Kenny C back on the ones and twos for you guys to get in to all of that action from the AFC and NFC championship games. Up here in the Northeast, we had blizzard conditions. That did not stop people up here. And in Broncos country, we had a snowy, blizzard-like game in the second half of that AFC chip with the Patriots and the Broncos going head-to-head. And then we had the real thriller Sunday evening, the Rams and the Seahawks in Act 3. I'm here to get into all of it, give you guys my biggest takeaway. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Give me your takeaways. Give me your Super Bowl 60 picks. You will have to stay tuned for a Super Bowl 60 preview. That video will be dropping closer to the Super Bowl, which is on February 8th, I believe. So you guys will want to hit the subscribe button because you will not want to miss that. I want to hear from you guys. Seriously, in the comments, as you're watching this video, give me your thoughts. What did you think of both games? If you liked blizzard conditions, if you liked weather, if you liked the elements, and if you liked defense, then you certainly liked that AFC Championship game in which the New England Patriots, yet again getting back to another Super Bowl. They now become, I believe, the first team to have a Super Bowl appearance in every decade since the 80s. The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2010s to 2020s, and now 2020s and up to present day. This is pretty crazy stuff. A 10-7 win. Jarrett Stidham, we thought he could maybe be the guy. The 4th round pick by New England out of Auburn in 2019. We thought maybe he could be the unsung hero. I personally didn't. I picked the Patriots to win that game, so I went 1-1 in my picks. I had Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, a rematch of 2018. Instead, you get a rematch of Super Bowl 49 now with the Seahawks and the Patriots. Let's just hope the Seattle Seahawks know to run the ball with Kenneth Walker if they're in that situation. But this game right here with Jarrett Stidham, what I said in my preview, I said whichever quarterback plays a cleaner game is going to win this game. And sure enough, lo and behold, it was Drake May. Jarrett Stidham with the fumble in the first half. All he had to do was really tuck the ball and just take the sack. Instead, it's a fumble. The Patriots go the other way, and I believe that was the touchdown in which Drake May rushed it into the end zone, which proved to be the X factor. Drake May's legs, 65 rushing yards, 10 rushes, and a touchdown in this AFC chip game. He proved to be the ultimate factor. You had the Stidham fumble, then later in the game, once the weather kicked in, Stidham couldn't do anything. The second drive of the game with the touchdown to Sutton, I was like, oh baby, the Patriots might have a run for their money. You saw Vrabel's face on the sideline. He was like, whoa now. But once the weather kicked in, the team that was more seasoned, I guess, and the team with the quarterback who has more of an athletic ability prevailed in this one, because then Stidham has the interception to Gonzalez to pretty much seal it. But my overarching theme for both of these games, and I'm going to get into the Seattle and the Rams game, is that special teams wins and loses you football games, especially in the playoffs. We already saw it with Green Bay and Brandon McManus missing those field goals and extra points against the Bears in the wild card. We saw it with the Bears getting overzealous. Second down with like 6:40 to go in the overtime. Why are you not trying to get closer in field goal range? Why are we throwing the ball? All you needed was 3 points to win that game. They did not do that. And in this one, you had a missed field goal / blocked field goal by Will Lutz, 54-yarder in the elements, so it wasn't going to be an easy one by any stretch, but it looked like it was going to go towards the middle. And then the former Jet, the former New York Jet, now New England Patriot, playing hero Leonard Taylor III, gets a piece of that. They missed that field goal. They end up losing by 3. Special teams wins and loses you football games. But the New England Patriots, for all those people, I got to say, including myself, that said they had the easiest schedule, they statistically had the easiest strength of schedule since the 99 Rams, the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf Rams. But 9-0 on the road. I believe they are the first team in NFL history. Don't quote me on that. But they might be the first team to go 9-0 on the road, I believe including playoffs as well. And they have wins now in the playoffs over 3 top 5 total defenses in the Chargers, in the Texans, and the Denver Broncos. I thought Maye played a very composed game and used his legs. If Bo Nix is in this game, yes, it's undoubtedly a different game. But he was not. It was Stidham versus Maye. Maye's athletic ability shined through and was able to get it done with his feet and help propel in his just the second year the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl. He's the second youngest quarterback, only second to only Dan Marino, to start in a Super Bowl game. Mike Vrabel and what he has done with this franchise and this football team at current day has been phenomenal. And Josh McDaniels playing to the strengths of his quarterback. He did it with Brady, 2 different stints in New England and in Foxborough, and we're seeing it. So now Drake Maye and the Pats are under the bowl to play who? Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks shocked everybody. And they went out there and they balled out against the LA Rams in Seattle, 31-27, a thriller. That was an instant classic. That was the 3rd game in a trilogy from this regular season in which we saw 2 games, one that was won by a missed field goal, and the other an epic comeback by Sam Darnold and company, down 30-14. And now in this one, we saw a back and forth affair. What I said in my preview was that this one is going to be a shootout. Expect a shootout. And that's what we got. We got Sam Darnold wiping off all the haters and saying, I'm going to go out there and play some of my best football this season. 346 yards and 3 touchdowns for Sammy D, the first quarterback to reach the Super Bowl from the 2018 draft class, over the likes of Josh Allen, over the likes of Lamar Jackson. That is phenomenal. And Baker Mayfield. You're talking about a guy that went number 3 overall to the New York Jets, had a tumultuous early career with the Jets. I believe against the Patriots, by the way, he is 0-4 in his career as a member of the New York Jets, as their quarterback. 0-4, and I believe 23 total points in those 4 contests. But this is not the New York Jets. This is a well-coached and well-oiled Seattle Seahawks team with a great defense and a lot of weapons and talent, including an offensive line led by Charles Cross, in front of Sam Darnold. He balled out, 346 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the MVP did his share, 374 yards and 3 touchdowns from Matthew Stafford. But here's the thing, special teams wins and loses you football games, especially in the playoffs. And what did we see? We saw the LA Rams with 5 minutes left, instead of making it a 1-point game, because you change the mindset of the other team. If the Rams kicked the field goal there on 4th and 4 with 5 minutes left in the game, you now have, I think they had 2 timeouts. You got 5 minutes to get a stop against Sam Darnold and company. And granted, both of these teams were slinging it throughout the entire game. Defense seemed to be optional at most times. But I will say this, I could see both sides of the argument. Go for it there. You have the MVP of the league, Matthew Stafford. You have to go for it there. The defenses have been leaky sieves so far. But on the other side of it, special teams, you take the points in the playoffs, because then they're down by 1. It's 31-30. All of the pressure then shifts onto Sam Darnold, because when they opted to go for it and didn't get it, and it's a 4-point cushion, Sam Darnold and company are playing with house money. All they have to do is kill some clock, in which they did, and leave the Rams little to no time to do anything. But if you put the pressure on them to now go down the field and have to score, the entire trajectory of the game changes and swings right then and there. So I thought that they should have taken the points in that situation, and special teams rearing its ugly head in the 3rd quarter with the punt muff by Xavier of the Rams. Seattle gets the ball inside the 20. Sammy D with an absolute dime and a hell of a route ran by Jake Bobo, and they tack on another touchdown. Then they're up 11 points. That's a massive swing due to a special teams blunder, 24-13 at that point. So these 2 games came down to special teams ultimately losing the respective teams in the Denver Broncos and the LA Rams the game. Now we can largely debate the 4th down McVay decision to go for it there. I personally am of the camp that you take the points there. I know you converted one on that drive, a 4th down, and you kept the drive going, but it's 4th and 4. You have 5 minutes. Let your defense try to make a stop and put all the pressure on Sam Darnold. But hey, He's handled it excellently. And when you look at the guy that was the number 3 overall pick in 2018, the journeyman, he's traded to the Panthers. The Jets say, all right, we're done, we're moving on. Then he goes from the Panthers to the 49ers, learns from Kyle Shanahan, and that's where I think his career really took a turn for the best when he learned under Kyle Shanahan during that brief stint in San Francisco. Then he goes to the Vikings, gets them 14 wins, and now he comes to Seattle, he gets them 14 wins. Even in Minnesota, people were saying, well, look at the playoff game against the Rams, and then he's got Kevin O'Connell, one of the best coaches in the NFL. I don't know if it's coaching or is it Sam Darnold. He comes to Seattle, entirely new coaching staff, entirely new roster to play with, and he shows everybody that, yes, I was worth the number 3 overall pick. You just didn't put the proper weapons and proper team around me with coaches in place to let me succeed and thrive. And he's done that under Mike Macdonald. He's proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. I said in this game, give me the MVP when push comes to shove to clutch up and win the game, when in fact it wound up being Sam Darnold. But we did get the shootout. Puka Nacua, 9 receptions, 165 yards and a touchdown. JSN, 10 receptions, 153 yards and a touchdown. We got an utter showdown and an utter shootout in this game, and now we get a Super Bowl 60 that, as I already mentioned, is a rematch of Super Bowl 49 between Seattle and between New England, a second-year signal caller in Drake May under center for the Patriots, and a guy in Sam Darnold playing in his first ever Super Bowl. But thus far throughout the playoffs, he has shown that he is that guy. He has learned from his mistakes in the postseason, and he is ready to take this team to new heights. And now we have an outstanding matchup, in my opinion, and I am looking forward to this Super Bowl. I am actually very excited for this Super Bowl, and I am praying that the Seattle Seahawks prevent the New England Patriots from winning their 7th Super Bowl. So I'm going to preview that for you guys as we get closer to the big game. So stay tuned for that. Lock in on the channel, hit the subscribe button, and drop your comments in the comment section below, baby, because the Kenny C Show moves on and we keep this train rolling.